that's all I'm learning. Hope that we can make a turn and start reversing all our minds and put the work in. We got some work, man. I can hear the demons call when they do what they do. And now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through, I just gotta get through. Cause I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through. Gotta get through this, life is a nuisance, tie up some loose ends. I try to be human, find a solution, my evolution. A place like this.
All right, what's up, everyone? We've got a whole bunch of stuff on topwater today, mainly the sexy dog. And look, I'm not one of those guys, right? I'm not one of those guys that gets on YouTube like everyone else and tells you that there's 1,400 different tricks on working a sexy dog better. Because really there's like 1,401, and we're gonna go over all those tricks, all those things to make this bait right here, right? This bait right here to work better, right? Everyone's got all these tricks, right? I know them all. You want to go over them all? Okay, let's do that. Let's do that real quick, right? The tricks to making this bait right here walk the dog better. That's what we're going to go over. So basically, number one is if your bait doesn't look like this. See that? So this is a chrome, Carolina chrome sexy dog, right? You see that? Now, that's not me doing anything to that bait. Now, those are all teeth marks. Yeah, I get it all. Those are all teeth marks. But that underneath, that's not, I didn't do that. I didn't take a sander. I didn't do any of that stuff. That's for me throwing it. Okay? There's my trick, guys. It's me throwing it. You can go with all these other tricks, all these so-called things that work to make this walk the dog better. I think they're all worthless. I'm not saying it might not help you, but you don't need all that help. You really don't, guys. I mean, there's so much stuff on YouTube and all the clickbaiting to tell you all these new little tricks, and there's gonna be 1,400 tricks out there about all these baits. You don't think we didn't make this bait right from the get-go? These baits, most of them were made right from the get-go. On purpose. We did that on purpose, okay? The reason I say your bait should look like this, you wanna get good? You wanna get good at walking the dog? Go throw it for hours upon hours upon hours. That's how a bait gets to look like this, okay? It's not from me. I don't even know if I can even do that. No, it's from those hooks, from that bait doing this constantly, and those hooks rubbing on it. That's how many hours I've been throwing this thing over the past month or two, okay? It's incredible. That's all you gotta do. All that other stuff, it doesn't matter. Get out there and learn to walk the dog. That's the trick. It just takes a couple hours, a couple days. You'll get better at it. You'll realize what you can do with that bait. I can do everything with this bait with just this rod, and it's straight out of the package, right? Now I got some different hooks on there. If y'all haven't seen my hook video, right? Those are all wire hooks, okay? And I've got braid on there. Braid will help. It will help, okay? So I've got braid. I've got it right out of the package. I eventually had to put some other hooks on there because when you throw it that much, you're gonna dull out hooks, you're gonna bend hooks by catching fish, things like that. Now, second, what do I have on there? I definitely have a little bit larger braid, okay? I have 50-pound plasma braid. The reason I have 50-pound plasma braid is this. One, I don't know. It's a definite myth, okay, that like fish see your line on top of the water. Can they? They can, but they're not worried about it. Trust me, they're not worried about that line in front of that bait on a topwater. Okay, they are not anywhere keyed in on that braid on whether or not they can see it and whether or not they hit this thing. Okay, I promise you. If you are getting misses on this topwater, it's usually a lot of different things. Braid is the least of your worry. Guys, I promise it's the least of your worry. And here's why I know. Everyone wants to usually like conjure up these thoughts of like why they're missing a bait. There's hours where I could go out there and throw this bait right here and get 20 blow-ups and catch 20 fish. It can happen. What I see more often than not, that the weather, especially with topwaters over every other bait, weather dictates whether or not they miss this bait. Okay, color helps. Okay, so the color of the bait, that's a big deal. But even then, it's really just the day or the hour. I've seen it where a couple hours, you know, are better than others. Like I've seen it in the morning time better. I've seen it in the afternoon better. I've seen it right in the middle of the day be better. There'll be hours where they don't want to miss this thing. And there'll be hours where they tend to start missing it. Okay, it's just part of topwater fishing. That's something you're gonna have to get used to. So it's rarely ever on, I promise you, it's never the line. Okay, it's usually color and the day. That's it. That's all it ever is. Sometimes it could be how you're working it, but even then, for the most part, if you just work it normal, just a constant steady retrieve, if there's fish there, you're gonna get bit on it. There's little techniques you can use, like stopping it, pausing it, you know, long walks where it's like, those all can help sometimes generate a bite or two. But for the most part, if they miss it, it's usually nothing you're doing wrong. It just is what it is. I promise you guys, been doing this a lot. Now, I'm one of those guys, I've been lately throwing it around a lot of grass lately. And I'm just a guy who throws it. I've gone back and forth on rods, right? I definitely don't want a very stiff rod at all. Okay, and the reason is because I have it on braid. So this rod, I've been messing around with it. It's actually their bladed Thunder Cricket rod. It's a Team Lou's signature series. It's actually an Andy Montgomery rod, and it's his bladed jig rod. It's his Thunder Cricket rod, and I like it. It's a 7.3. A lot of people like to go 7 foot, 7.1. Like I said, I'm throwing it around grass. I want a little bit extra. Like pull on it, like a little bit extra backbone, just a little bit. And the reason is well, let's see, I'll show you why. Here's a reason. God, I'm too big. Ripping through the grass. You gotta go get him. Ripping through the grass. He was freaking tugging, and it was. I thought I lost him 7 times because he was down in that grass, and it was getting hung up in the grass, and then it would rip through the. You know what I'm saying? The line would rip through the grass. So like every time I'd be here, it'd go over here because he was so far down in that hydrilla. Look at this. I don't even know how he's hooked. So when this fish hit, the grass is right underneath the surface, okay? And so it blows up. It's a pretty big one. And as it's going down in the grass, the fish will go through the grass, but your braid will be hung up around clumps of grass. And so you can feel that braid ripping through that grass. And so almost every once in a while, it feels like it's off there, but it's just ripping through grass. And your line's here, but your fish is over there. So as it moves this way, it's ripping through the grass. That braid rips through the grass a lot better. So I definitely want that. But at that moment, right? At that moment, that's when you want a bigger rod, right? A rod with a little bit more backbone, because that's the deal. I have always told y'all, my setup is for bigger fish. It's not for 2-pounders. No one cares when they lose a 2-pounder, right? I don't care if you're at a tournament. I don't care if you're fun fishing. Like, we're all out there, and no one. I've never heard the story of the guy coming in going, man, you should have seen this 2-pounder I lost. No, it's like, I had a giant on and I lost it. My setup is for those giants, right? It's set up for bigger fish. I care more about those fish. I still think I'm gonna catch the 2-pounder. Doesn't really matter. I want to put way more emphasis on catching the big one, and my setup's right for the big one. So that's what I got. Now, the reel. I have everything on a Super Duty 300, okay? If you can see that Super Duty 300, yeah, it's beat up. Guys, I don't just sit there and get new reels every year and throw new reels. Like, that reel's like 2 or 3 years old, and I use it a lot. This reel, I have all my braid, any kind of bigger braid, I put on that Super Duty. I have all my drag set really, really tight. Well, this I don't. I have it set pretty light. I have it set pretty light because the one thing with throwing that sexy dog and throwing it on braid and everything else like that, you do have a tendency, you can have the tendency to bend a hook, okay? No matter how strong, and I got 2X trebles on there, the Zo wires. But I don't care, when you put anything on braid, especially anything with treble hooks, you have a tendency to bend hooks. So I've got that reel set up a little bit with the drag to where if it starts pulling hard, it will slip. Not a lot, but it will slip. And that's what I want. I want that drag to come out if it's going, if he starts pulling really hard. But on the flip side, what I can do is I can also like put my thumb down on that reel if he gets hung up in the grass and pull on it real easy, right? I can pull it out of the grass. That allows me, it's a steady, slow, you're not gonna bend hooks usually if you just pull real gentle. It's those fast little jerks is how you bend hooks. So that's my setup, okay? Pretty simple, guys. All those tricks, all those things they tell you, all the clickbait, guys, it's just going out there and throwing it. I promise you, just go out there and throw it a bunch. You'll get good at walking the dog with this bait. I promise. It's all you need. Just get out there and keep doing it. Just keep doing it. Even you do it for 4 hours in a day, by hour number 4, you're gonna be like, oh, see what he's talking about. Like it's getting easier. I'm getting better. You can get the cadence sound. You can make that thing do everything you want. Way more with your action than by these so-called little tricks. Just saying. Straight out of the package. Go with it, guys. All right. That's it. See y'all.